Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for staying right there. It's very important. And karibu sana. Like I promised you, this is the first conversation of the day. And we're going to talk about how to develop an entrepreneurial mindset in a world of endless possibilities, from technology to innovation and so many problems that need to be solved. How do you develop an outstanding personality that defines you as a leader, especially when it comes to now developing entrepreneurial skills? And I love the fact that with my guest, we've been talking about Gen Zs and their world of quick things. Within just a press of a button, a typing of a sentence, and you unleash it on social media, the whole world can literally be turned upside down. But then how do you develop these leadership skills that get you to scale and make progress? And that is the conversation we're delving into. And I'll be engaging with Gamaliel Gerishom Malungu. He's a leadership and productivity coach and a trainer. And there's an interesting CEO title as well of, I believe it's an association or maybe a group he founded called Permanent Success. A good name for that. Great to meet you, Mr. Gamaliel.
Thank you very much for having me today.
Yeah, karibu sana.
Yes.
Off the air, you had mentioned to me an interesting story of your journey. You are a teacher by profession.
Yes,
And
yes.
You had mentioned it's not something you had envisioned to pursue. You
Yeah.
wanted to be a lawyer. Maybe you can take us through just your journey a little bit, and then we can come back to the Gen Zs for the matter of context.
Thank you. Thank you. I must say that I'm very much excited to be here today. And thank you for the honors of having me. Just as you have said, you know, life has its own ups and downs. And as we grow, there are certain things that we come and discover later on. But as we grow, me and myself, we also understand that there was a time I was really passionate about becoming a lawyer.
Right.
And that was the goal, that was a dream. But I did not actualize it using the academical struggles.
Yeah.
And I ended up becoming a teacher. I graduated as a teacher at Kenyatta University. To be precise, I should be in class teaching Kiswahili and CRE right now.
Yeah.
But yes, God's purpose has always prevailed. Here I am teaching people because I've not deviated quite far from teaching, because I'm still teaching in my consultancy business.
You're still in line with your passion and your vision.
Yes. And for so many people, actually when I did a research, I realized that there are so many people, not just myself, but so many people who did graduate from school, but whatever they are doing right now is quite different from what they studied. And you come to discover that because of economical challenges, because of passion, because of love for different things, and now because of how the economy is changing and things are changing very fast, they just find themselves in environments or in places where they never envisioned that they will be. But they're doing it well. They're doing it well. And on my side, I can say I'm happy to take this course that I've taken.
The mantle.
The mantle,
for
yes.
That matter, you know? But then what you've mentioned is really a profound story, because I believe we have millions of young people out there who are in spaces where, especially in workspaces. And in fact, with one of my camera guys right here, we were talking about types of quitting. It's actually related to our question of the day, where we are asking our viewer, if you are quitting a job, do you just go silent or you issue a notice? And then there's an interesting update that was done by one of the international stations. They highlighted the way Gen Zs are quitting. They prefer to record videos and say, this job was detrimental to my mental well-being. They are already informing the person who isn't coming. You'll meet challenges that this company has not been solving. So they're calling it loud quitting, other than like who previously, way back, you'd just, you know, resign slowly, or you disappear into oblivion and make a phone call later. So it's interesting, you know, people being in spaces where they didn't like, but they're still there for the paycheck. But then when it comes to now an entrepreneurial aspect of it all at large, I believe there's skills and there's forces and there's a way a person should structure their lives so that they streamline themselves, so that they get in line with the vision and goal. How can a person position themselves for that kind of trajectory in terms of facets or things that they need to shape up in their life?
That's a very important question. And we were sharing off air, and one of the things I've mentioned to you is that there's so many people, and this is my call for everyone. You are building something that you're not aware of. Just because of things, the way they happen around you. And then you end up not being your true self. And that's why we do the school of identity. Identity crisis is a real deal. Is a real deal. According
Identity
to
crisis.
Yes, identity crisis is a real deal. Because you find people doing things which they are not, or doing things which they are not created to be.
Yeah.
When it comes to building your entrepreneurial journey,
Yeah.
you must start from you. You must start from you. Self-awareness is everything. Because you have ability in you that pushes you to do things.
Yeah.
If the push is coming from outside, you'll get tired.
Yeah.
But if it comes from within, you'll give life. So what do I mean by that? Over the years, I've been doing training, and not only to the employed class, but also to those guys who have already started their own businesses.
Yeah.
One of the things I discovered is people quit, not because the job is bad, not because they are not having a paycheck, but because they are in a wrong environment.
Wrong environment.
Because of identity. It's just like a fish trying to live out of water. No matter how the air looks like out here, no matter how fresh the air looks out here, it will struggle to live. So people need to start with
because it's in the wrong environment.
Yes, they are in a wrong environment. You have to start from awareness. How well do you know yourself? Because what I like or what I love could be different from what you love. And little did you know that many times you do something because someone else is doing it. Then you fail, then you ask yourself that, why did I fail? And the same person is doing the same thing and they are succeeding in the same thing. Only for you to discover you do not have ability. You do not have passion for that thing. So for you to build yourself, first of all, start from you. What do you really live for? What is the purpose for your life? So from there now we can build on the skills, because entrepreneurship is about skills and passion. So discover first who you are, what you carry, and then now use it to build yourself. I always say that for those who are in business, the first thing that you must look for is not how much money you're going to make, is what you have that can solve a problem.
Yeah, so problem solving.
Yes.
Identifying a niche and then tapping into it.
Tapping into it. Okay. But it has to come from within.
So meaning passion and self-awareness.
Yes, passion and self-awareness. But there are so many people who do not know how to actualize or monetize their abilities into their dreams, making it happen. So you realize that you find someone who has very excellent skills with passion and stuff like that one, but they really don't know how. So they end up living in the old mentality of go to school, get good grades, get a good job, retire in peace. But when you look within, you'll discover that you have a gold mine.
Yeah.
When you look within, you'll discover that I have something that the world is really waiting for. I can use myself as a good example, because there was a time it was too much pressure in my head. Where am I going to get the employment? Where do I get the 6 figures? Where do I get this? Which neighborhood am I going to live? Life is not about money, it's about impact.
And on that note, what did you do that now morphed you into what you're currently doing, which is your passion? Because I believe that's a very strong point as well. You are caught up in a space where you never envisioned to be there, but then you've beat the odds all along the journey and morphed into what you're doing, which is empowering and helping people to discover themselves and pursue their dreams. So what did you do yourself to morph into this version of you?
It's God. I will say it's God, because God is our manufacturer. It's the same way any other manufacturer will come with a product. But the first thing they did, they came with a purpose for the product. So the purpose is with the manufacturer of the product. And when the manufacturer builds a product, he builds ability in the product. And he's very sure that the product he has built is going to serve the need, solve a problem in the market. But many a times, we think we have created ourselves. We never created ourselves. So the first thing I did was to have a very close relationship, fellowship with my creator, who helped me to understand my purpose, why he has created me. The world have its own system to tell you who you are, but your creator has the same purpose or a different purpose which is bigger, which is much more eternal than what you think. Because you see, the world will give you what they want from you, and you realize you are not going to have impact at the end of the day. So for me, I discovered my purpose, first of all, by knowing what really God created me for, because there is an ability He has built inside of me.
Okay.
And I know that there could be someone who is asking himself or herself, how now do I know my purpose? Maybe you are not a Christian, or you are not into religion stuff and stuff like that. I can only give you 4 or 5 questions that can guide you. Number 1, ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? It's not your name.
How do you answer, who am I?
Yes, it's a huge question.
Somebody would say, I am a radio, television personality, I'm a brother, I'm a husband, I'm a twin, I'm an entertainer.
Yes.
So you say more of your career than your self-introspection. So maybe how can a person answer the who am I?
Just as I said, your identity is in that question, who am I? And it's not your name, it's not what you do.
Not your profession, not your name.
Yes, it is who you are. All right? Then, after you've known who you are, it translates now to what you do. So what you do may not be who you are.
Right.
All right? And then now, so that's why I'm insisting you must start by, like for example, if you ask me who am I, I'll tell you, I'm a world leader who is passionate about providing long-lasting solution to the world with excellence.
Okay.
Then the question is, how do I do it?
Yeah.
So when you find me doing whatever I do every day, you may confuse to say that this guy is a banker. I was a banker previously. But deep inside, I know that I'm a world leader, providing long-lasting solutions with excellence to the world.
Solving problem and helping people.
And helping people.
Part,
so that is who am I.
That's who you are.
Yes.
Okay.
So answering that question really needs a lot of introspection. And you must never define that by how the society expects from you.
Yeah.
Because if you do that, you'll be led astray.
Or by your environs.
By your environs. I like that. The second question that you must ask yourself is, where am I coming from?
Okay.
I am not coming from Transoya. I am not coming from Nairobi. I'm not coming from Kenya. That is your source. Where you came from. That one you can answer. Of course, we all came from God. I don't know why I'm giving hints, because you're supposed to think. The third question is, why am I here? Why am I here? That deals with your potential.
Right.
Why are you here? Your purpose. Why am I here? Even in your family, ask yourself, why are you in that family? The why will define the how. If you do not know why you are doing things, and I know probably you ask me that question on entrepreneurship because it's very important. Why is everything? Why pushes people? Why wakes you up? Why makes you to work hard? That why is very important. Why am I here?
Yeah, there's somebody who had mentioned if you discover your why, then all these other things will be shut out, yeah?
Yes, it's that simple. And many people have not defined their why. I like, there is a series I was watching by Simon Sinek. I know you know him. And he drew circles to illustrate that people are doing it outside in instead of inside out.
Right.
So the inside out is why, how, and what.
Why, how, and what.
Yes, but many people do it outside in. What, how, and why.
How, and why.
So that's why I started by saying it must start from you.
Within.
And then it goes outside. Life starts from you, and then it goes outside. The same thing to you. You never grew from outside. You grew from within. If I give you a mustard seed, no matter how small it is, and then you see the tree that comes out of it, it never came from out the seed. It came from within the seed. So why are you here?
Yeah.
The fourth question is, where am I going? That's your vision.
Direction.
Yes. I always tell people, factor in, prioritize direction over speed. You could be running so fast, but nowhere.
Yeah.
So it's important for you to know, where will I be in the next 2 years, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years? Why do you think people are being swayed around each and every day? Because they don't know where they're going. You find somewhere, I normally use this joke, you find somewhere working, it's like, how are you? I'm doing well. Where are you going? Nowhere. They have no sense of direction. If I ask you, what is your career goal in the next 1 year? What is your career growth in the next 1 year? If it's business, where do you see yourself in the next 1 year in this business? If you cannot answer that question, you are the next person to fail.
Yeah, but maybe this person has been in business for a decade, and but also I was widely just thinking, is it possible for a person to exist without discovering all of this? Like wako tu, they're just plainly existing. Mi niko tu bana, so long as jua inawaka nitakula, that's it. They don't care about what should happen next or the future of whatever. For them, wako tu. Is it possible we have people living such lives?
Yes, it's very possible.
And what would you call that, you know? Is it lack of purpose or lack of direction or just an empty life? Because I believe, like you said, at least if you answer these 4 questions, I believe now your life is connected to a certain path.
Correct.
You're heading to a certain defined destiny.
Yeah. I will say there's so many people who are crying for help. There are so many people who have potential, but they don't know they have potential because of how the society has defined them. There are so many people who have been raised in very weird, let me call them weird backgrounds that has limited their minds. Because how you think defines who you will become. And your environment determines how you think. The people you hang around with will determine how you think. There are people who just needed to be told, you can do this. There are people who only need to be told, like for example, I will tell you, there's a friend of mine called Juvins. I will never forget this guy. When I was at Kenyatta University, one day he walked to me and then he told me, bro, you know, we were in the same high school, but I can tell you, I have observed you. You are the big thing, you are the next big thing that the world is waiting for. What do you mean? Every time you speak a lot of sense. And you change lives, you transform. You know, I never thought about it. Apart from just being a school captain, being a CU chairperson, I never imagined that there's somebody who is watching me and seeing there is value that I carry.
Right.
There are so many people who have spoken to me. Like my mentor, Dr. Ruben was the first person I took myself to the podium, gave my keynote speech, and then he said, you're the next big person.
Wow.
Now, there are people who have been trapped into a comfort zone because of the environment they are. And little did they know, they carry something bigger than where they are today. So what happens? Maybe you need a mentor.
Right.
Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need an accountability partner. Maybe you need to sit down and allow someone to lead you.
An authority.
Yes, you need an authority to lead you. That's what I always say. It's very risky for you to live a life of mediocrity. A life of mediocrity means it's you and you alone. Right. You're not created for yourself. Interact with people who are ahead of you. The person who has been on top of the mountain knows how you can get on top of the mountain.
Absolutely.
But if you are hanging around with people who are at the bottom of the mountain and you want to be on top of the mountain, those are people who are guessing. It's just like 2 blind people leading themselves.
Is it one of those is one of those sentiments where they say, don't take advice from someone who's not been through what you've been through, you know?
Not
because
necessarily.
There's people who, you know,
not
say
necessarily.
Things.
And I have been discouraging this, arguably. Let me use the word arguably.
Right.
As much as we value experience, there are certain levels experience do not speak loud. Experiences are good, but you can have a bad experience and you can have a good experience.
So it's not valid in some certain
circumstances. It's not valid in certain circumstances. I'll use a very simple example. If you're driving a car that has a speedometer of 180 kilometers per hour, but you've been driving at 80 kilometers per hour for the last 30 years. Yes, I could value experience for 30 years, but you have not exploited the full potential of that car. So I could only be limited by how far you've gone with that car. But if I can use your experience as an example, and then look at how far I can go with the ability of that car, then I can overdo your experience. I could be limited by who you are, by just looking at where you have gone, how far you have achieved. But if I can look at how far I can go, I can only learn. Wise people use examples, not experiences. But do you underwrite experiences? No. You can learn from their experiences so that you can even make your things faster.
So it reminded me of somebody said, don't ever use somebody else's testimony as your something.
Yes.
But then it's interesting because when you look at the crop, I'll say the generation we're in right now, young people want things to happen really fast. And I believe, like you've said, before you get on a certain path that you're able to fulfill your purpose and even help other people as well, the skills that you need to acquire. Maybe, what would you say, maybe transferable skills or also non-transferable, soft and unsoft skills that a person can shape up so that they become a meaningful and impactful person to others outside?
It's important to understand the power of consistency. Consistency creates resilience. It creates tenacity to sustain things. There is something Bruce Lee said. He said, I do not fear a man who knows 1,000 kicks, but I fear a man who knows, who has practiced one kick 1,000 times.
Yeah.
If you take a full bucket of water and pour it on ground, nothing will happen. Or even on a rock, let me use the rock, nothing will happen. But a drop of water every minute on that rock will create a hole, and even it can crack that rock. It's consistency. Young people have missed that point.
Do you believe the Gen Zs in Kenya?
Yes, not necessarily, because I have been to several other countries, and you realize that it's a generation by itself.
So it's a similar pattern.
It's a similar pattern, but not for everybody. But a big chunk of them have not understood the power of creating resilience. A good example I'll give you. If I give you 1 billion right now, who are you?
I want it.
I definitely know you want it.
1 billion right now. Yeah.
So if I give you 100 billion, who are you? Are you a billionaire, or you have a billion?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Because if you think you are a billionaire, I'll only wait for 3 months and come and ask you, how much do you have? If that a billion will have reduced to 800 million, then definitely you only had a billion, but you're not a billionaire. It's a mindset.
Right.
Successful people have created mindset.
Right.
You must value becoming more than having. I've seen people, many people, not only in business, but even in leadership positions, who rose to high levels only for them to come down. Why? They never created capacity to sustain themselves. What create capacity is mindset and going through the process. So the process takes a lot of toil. You will fail, you will cry, you'll be left alone, and that is what really makes you.
And it's painful
And
too.
it's painful. It's really painful. But young people, especially the Gen Zs, I'm sorry to say, they want quick things.
But we are also in an era of quick things.
I understand.
We have artificial intelligence. In fact, they're projecting in the next coming, I don't know how many years, human beings will be aside and then robots will be doing everything within a minute you have it.
Yes. Then you discover there is no human perspective in it. These are robots. They have been created. But for you as a human being, remember there is the spirit, there is the soul, and then there is your body. That means there is something that has to happen to your body. If I ask you a good question is, if you had an option of not coming to work today, you wouldn't have come to work. But that means there is something that you must create within yourself that will sustain you up there. So as much as we are in we are in an era where things are done quickly, but you must create resilience in your mind. That you must know, if you don't get it, you can get it tomorrow. So giving up is not an option.
So there's patience again.
Yes, there is patience into it. I can tell you, when I started my consultancy business, I wrote so many proposals. Many people told me no. But because I know what I carry, people don't see what I carry. But today I can stand and tell you that I can coach a leader, a CEO, a manager, and they can really have a lot of impact. But long time ago, I didn't have it. Look at these big companies that we are proud of. Even KBC one day was just an idea. I know you faced many challenges, but did you quit? You didn't. So all along, resilience has been created. All along, mindset has been created. Look at someone like Jack Ma. When he started his company, there was a time he was at the verge of closing everything down, but he didn't. He said, all the company, we are going to only one place. Actually, it was an apartment, a residential area. But look at them today. They created resilience. That's why I said, start from why. Right. Your why will define your why. Your how, it will define what you're going to do. And that's why we talk about having a vision and plan. That's why I say planning is taking the future into the present and finding something to do about it today. So if you do not know the future, that's why I say don't copy from someone, because you don't know where they have been. If you copy them, you don't know how they have lived their lives. Then giving up will never be an option. You'll give up so fast, and then you end up changing jobs, closing businesses, starting another business, and then you realize.
And that's frustrating. It's literally frustrating. But the Gen Z say that I don't want to trust the process. I want the process to trust me.
To trust you.
They want to be soft life ambassadors, which is something that also society has normalized, you know. Yesterday we were talking about substance and drug abuse. There's massive songs out there that promote niko juu ya something, nataka kinduku, like it's been normalized, kunyonga. These are things that are deeply engraved and embedded in society today. So when it's massively preached out there, it becomes a consumer culture, and when you consume it, you become it. So how do we, I'd say, unplug this mentality of, you know, I must have it now and it must be instant? That's, I believe, the mindset of instant gratification.
Yes.
How do we unplug it out of the Gen Zs and make them trust the process, wait, sharpen your skills, and go through the right stages so that when you arrive there, you can stay there for a long time and sustain and even impact, you know?
I'll say that, I'll first of all say that in this generation, many parents have failed in their responsibilities. In, you know, tutoring, mentoring, coaching, training, teaching these young people. They have made life so easy to them. I appreciate my parents, I'll tell you. There are things that I really had to work for. But now, things are in plenty. I will tell you, I have read the Bible, and there is nowhere God just made someone within a twinkling of an eye. They went through process of training. Even soldiers, no matter how much you've watched movies, if we give you a gun right now, it will be a self-destruction. You must be trained. You must be
training.
Training is very important.
And life training is very important.
And life training by itself is very important. So what am I saying? Mentors, coaches, role models. Let us leave our comfort zone. These young people, the Gen Zs, they need to hear from you. Yes, I appreciate the work that we are doing as mentors, as coaches, but the impact is not yet felt. The first mentor, the first coach, the first teacher, the first trainer is your dad, is your mom. But if it happens that your parents as well are in identity crisis, then we cannot help much. But you as an individual, if you are listening to me, it's important for you to get a mentor. Get trained.
Make a personal initiative, actually.
Yes, get a personal initiative. Because easy come, easy goes. Why do you think we have people, young people who are in jail? Actually, a statistic was done. Nowadays, in our prisons, less than 35 years, they are the majority. Why? It's identity crisis. Why do you have criminals? It's identity crisis. It's search for meaning. Is search for meaning,
corruption,
significance. Yes,
up there.
Corruption up there. And actually, my pastor, Pastor Benjamin Kasanja, he said that the problems that we are having right now in our society is lack of discipleship. If you can be well discipled, we could not be having people who are corrupting this country, who are stealing from this country. We could not be having thieves and burglars. We could not be having people who are killing people because they are not discipled. So parents must take their responsibilities in the ways that will help these people to be exceptional people in the society. Because all of these problems that we have the solution. I always say, wherever there is a problem, there is a solution. God has never put us in a place where we cannot find a solution. But the moment we think that the solution is coming from somewhere else, we miss the point. But the moment people think, that's what I always tell, I know probably you'll ask me around it, but let me speak about it right now. People think about how to get there, but not what will take them there. Look here.
It's a good one.
Yes, look here. It's important for people to think about this way. You think about quitting. The moment your mind thinks about quitting, your mind goes to sleep. But the moment you think, how do I get from here? Your mind gets to work. People quit because they fear problems. They fear challenges. But those challenges make you to be innovative.
But maybe somebody could be quitting, maybe they've found a better deal or a bigger deal.
Yes, I agree.
I think that's a good way of quitting, other than quitting because you're exhausted and tired. But sometimes it could be detrimental even to your mental well-being, your emotional well-being. So should you not quit or stay in the toxicity? Which one would you prefer to
I would not want to miss my point. Many companies, I've trained them, and I've told even the CEOs, the HR managers, when you take care of the people, they will take care of your business. But if you treat people
like trash,
They love themselves as well. And you are not alpha and omega, they will quit. And I always encourage people, as long as you feel you are in an environment where it is toxic for you, love yourself. Nobody's going to love you for you. You must love yourself. It's better you even take a pay cut and be in an environment where it's possible for you to grow. I will tell you this. If you take a certified seed from the Kenya Seed of Companies and you place it on a tile, no matter how much pressure, no matter how much prayers will make, even if you pray in tongues, that seed will not germinate and grow. But if you put it in a good environment where it's fertile, where the soil is fertile, where there is moisture, where there is warmth, and all that environment, you don't need to put pressure. You even don't need to pray. It will grow by itself. But what am I saying about this point? Make sure you are in the right environment for you to grow. But at the end of the day, always your mind should always be thinking, how do I get out of here? Maybe this will help your marriage. Maybe this will help your business. Maybe even this will help your own self. So that you don't just quit, but go through the process by coming with ideas on how you can
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yesterday I was going through LinkedIn and I did screenshot some very important memes that are related to this topic as well that we're discussing. And I'd like you to react to it shortly. The first one was, it was posted, I think, by a site called Work Culture. It says, nothing will kill a great employee faster than watching you tolerate a bad one. Down there they've detailed the person is called Perry Belcher. The next one, it's from Michael Jordan. He says, my best skill was that I was coachable. I was a sponge and an aggressive learner. That is by Michael Jordan. There's another one as well. Pay people what they are worth or watch them live for a job that will. The last one. It says, it's a red flag. This was shared by World Economic. No, it was shared by, I think she's called Major Red Flag. It says, it's a red flag if your employees are leaving your workplace without a job. When you look at such memes that are being shared by people in the corporate space, and some of them are trying to be successful as well, some of them are inspirational, some of them are subtly criticizing the conditions of the workspaces. Does it mean that, personalities and institutions and even authorities that are holding these professional spaces are not respecting the workforce or the labor force? They're mainly centered on, I want you to deliver and go. Because this one says, if you don't pay people their worth, then watch them live for a job that will pay them their worth. Is there even something like that, being paid for what you're worth or the value you provide for? Is there something like that? And how can institutions achieve that?
I want to react first on the first quote that you have read before I come here, because I feel that is the background, the basis of what is happening. And I will say that for many leaders who have not been trained, power gets into their head and they end up treating people because they want to feel they are in authority. Leaders never show how powerful they are. Leaders inspire. And the fact that you are transformational in your leadership style, you'll treat everyone with respect. The fact that you've hired someone, it means you have seen value. But many people, many employers, I'm sorry to say, they see these people as tools to benefit themselves, which is not good and which is not bad, arguably. But what I'm looking at is, you are dealing with a human being who has capacity to grow, who has capacity to be innovative, who has capacity to make your business to be bigger than it is right now. Because the fact that this person has gone through the educational system and you saw them important to be in your company, it's just good enough for you to value them. But if you do not know yourself as a leader, self-awareness. Self-awareness means, how well do you know yourself? Because there are personalities that really kill employees. And how does that happen if you do not know yourself as a leader, even as an employer? And many times you discover that you get someone who thinks, this is my business, I do what I want, you do what I tell you to do. That's a robot. Then better go and get robots.
Micromanaging.
Yes, micromanaging people. Let me tell you, micromanagement is the worstest style of leadership. Arguably, there are people who really need to be pushed. And that's why I always say, Get someone who is not only qualified, but someone who loves the job, who is passionate about the job. Maybe this person is only looking for the paycheck, and they will feel pushed. Right. Will have a lot of struggles, a lot of conflicts at work. The first thing that you must ever do as an employer, do personality test, even before looking at papers. Because people are trainable, they are coachable. I told you, I graduated to be a teacher, but I've been in the banking industry.
Right.
What does that tell you?
And your CRE and Kiswahili teacher.
Yes, my CRE and Kiswahili helped me to bring profits to the bank. Why? Because people are trainable. Right. They are coachable. Okay. But you must provide a good environment for that to happen as a leader.
Maybe they do that as well because they feel like it could be overwhelming. So they need to assert authority so that they intimidate.
Intimidation never works. I'll tell you. Intimidation scares people from you.
Right.
There's something John Maxwell said. He said, if you are on the top alone, because you feel you are more authoritative, because if you have to stamp authority, which is not bad, but when you do it in a bad way, you scare people.
Right.
When you are on top alone, you have no business being a leader. Because who are you leading? You are leading people. Leading people means you have to be with the people.
Yeah.
Being with the people means you have to understand their needs.
Yeah.
But what happens? Many people don't know how to communicate the vision.
Yeah.
The why.
I believe so. Communication skills again come into play as a leader.
Let me say this because it's important. Look at this. Many people know what they are doing, but they don't know why they are doing it.
What and why? Okay.
If as a business owner, you can tell people why they are doing things, you will not push them.
For example, you're inventing a product, or you're coming up with a product. You want to solve, let's say, I love this young entrepreneurs who make traditional soap and they distribute it. But they are solving a problem. They're satisfying a certain niche on the market. How do you ask such an entrepreneur why? But of course, they have a vision and dream of making money, which they are doing. Is there another why again thereafter, apart from making profit and money?
People don't buy what you do. They buy why you do it.
I thought they come for the service and the experience.
And the experience, okay, that's like the entire system now. But the main system is why are you doing it? Look at something like Martin Luther King. Why do we always keep on referring to him? Martin Luther King died, but his spirit still lives in people. Look at his speech. He's talking about the dream, the why we need to be there. He even goes ahead and says that, I know I may not get there with you, but I know this is possible. He inspired people to believe in the why we have to do it. When you tell people why they have to do it, they will be innovative. They will send themselves. They will push themselves. But when you tell people what to do, they may end up getting tired so fast. I'll tell you this. I'm sorry to say this, but many men who have failed in relationships, in marriage, they never told these ladies why they should date them. It's the vision. If you tell your employees, if we can be able to do this, and this is why we are doing this, in the next 1 or 2 years, here is where we will be.
Yeah, you are envisioning.
You are envisioning. Tell people where they are going to be. And as you are telling them where they also have their own personal dreams. It's not just about you. So make sure as you're communicating that, their visions, their goals, their dreams are capped. They are catered for in your vision as a company. So now, start with the why.
Okay, I think you've really mentioned a couple of things that we can delve into. When you look at the Gen Zs in Kenya right now, the biggest problem that we are struggling with, and we talked about it yesterday, is unemployment. Another one is drug and substance abuse. There's the issue of mental health problems, or mental health issues that are stemming as well from the background of the homes or where they came from. So when you look at all these problems surrounding these young people, how do you single-handedly circle them out of these issues and get them on the path to where they're able to arrive at success? But also maybe we can define what success looks like for a Gen Z, because I was reading online, they were saying success for them looks like, being able to have a place, a Harvard, where they're able to access everything that they want at the comfort of their own time and capacity.
Yeah, I think I would respond by saying that it depends with the individual. Because there are people who just want to live in their comfort zone. And the fact that there is a lot of unemployment, you realize that many people have already given up. But there are a lot of opportunities. A lot of opportunities. I can guarantee you 101%. But why are they not thinking about that? Because of the educational system, which has trained them to go to school, to get good grades, and get jobs, and get good paycheck. But there are a lot.
Which is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
To go to school,
there are so many people who have been helped.
Get a paycheck.
Yes, it's not bad. But
get
we never
married.
have impact. Yes.
Yeah, on impact now. That's what matters.
On impact. I can guarantee you the richest people are not employed.
Right.
The richest are not employed. But you must always be thinking of what problem can I solve?
Yeah.
Every business.
So identifying a problem.
Yes, identify a problem. Every business is solving a problem. If your business is not solving a problem, then you are not in business. So as a Gen Z, as someone who is in employment, frustrated, not happy, you are not actualizing yourself, I'll tell you, from the moment you got from your bed, there are so many businesses until you go to the office.
Yeah.
But before you think about that, think about what you carry, self-awareness. And I'll encourage people to enroll to my classes about self-identity.
Yeah.
The people who have gone through these classes have discovered what they never discovered. That's why Miles Monroe said, the richest place on this planet Earth
is the graveyard.
Is a graveyard. Because there lies dreams that were never actualized.
Yeah.
Companies that were never started. Songs that were never written.
Dreams that never manifested.
Yes, they never manifested. Songs that were never sung. Books that were never written. Why? Because they were in the cocoon of comfort zone.
Yeah.
Think. The Bible says that as a man thinketh, so is he.
Yeah.
So the moment you sit down and think about a problem which is around you, even the same employment, you can provide a solution to unemployment.
Yeah.
If you do not have a job, that means you can create a job.
Yeah.
My pastor says if you don't have it, it means you don't need it.
Right.
But many people still want to have something which they have not worked for.
Yeah.
It is dangerous. It is detrimental for even your own health.
Yeah, there's the sponsor culture thing, which we call the sponyo, you know. They're saying somebody has a mamas, they have a babas, you know, they've become a soft life ambassador, which is something that also has been massively glorified, even on social media.
It's so sad.
When you look at young influencers living great, fantastic lives, they are on vacations, they're driving first-class concierge cars, but it's sadly as well we saw some of them passing out, and the reason why some of them are dying, it's mysterious, but this guy had the best of the finest things in life. But then you ask yourself, how did they arrive here this fast at only 22? You're driving, you know, which is a good thing as well at 22 to drive the best car in the world. But the thing is, did you go through the process of acquiring it? But then the Gen Z would say, me, I don't want to struggle. Me, I don't want to struggle. I'm not living in the era of struggle. I want it now because I need it. So how do you help out in such a scenario? Because it's an influx of such situations.
Yeah, honestly, I will submit that this is one of the biggest tragedy we have in our society right now. Because it saddens our hearts, especially people who really believe in young people. That people will always look for the easiest way to acquire things which they really want. When I was writing my first book, I interviewed one of the richest people in the country. And one of the things he said that you can never define success by what I have. Success is always within. That's why Maslow has drawn that curve to show you that at the end of the day, it is self-actualization.
Yeah.
Money can never buy happiness. Money can never buy happiness. We have so many young
But you'd rather have it, you know?
No problem having money. Even the Bible says that money answereth everything. But the moment you prioritize money, which is actually a result of something. Money is a result of something. You must do something to get money.
That you worked for it.
Yes, that you've worked for it. But I'm saddened that young people will go on that way. But the biggest sadness is on these were mamas, on these were babas. These are grown-up people, matured people, leading these young people astray. That's what I said. It is.
But the young people want it too.
I know.
You know?
I know.
I'm pretty sure that these babas are just lacking, and mamas
It's
are
so
just
sad.
lacking.
I'm telling you.
There's young men and women who are desperate. They need help. They need financial help, and they're willing to do the worst of the worst to get money. You know, maybe because of the situation or the circumstances happening in their life at that time, and they look east, left, north, right. You know, they say, if Mr. Gamaliel is here and he's offering this and that, why not? Why can't I? YOLO, we only live once, bruh.
I would say, never throw away your dignity for money. Because you will hurt yourself. There is something inside of you that will always be condemning you.
Yeah.
As much as money is sweet, I love money, that's why I'm working. That's why I wake up very early in the morning. That's why I sleep late. I want money. But I cannot compromise my dignity, my values for money. But these values, this belief system and principles have been built over time. There are people who have never had an opportunity to be cultured, to be morally upright. So many of them, because of failure of parental systems, because of failure of even our educational system, because of failure of lack of upright role models. Many of these young people are seeing someone doing it. Social media is one of the biggest influences.
Would you say it's a problem?
It is a problem. It's not controlled. As much as social media is good, but it is a problem.
Gen Z would stone you.
Definitely. Of course, you can stone me, but I'm speaking the truth. The truth will set them free.
That's the arena.
Yes, even me, I'm in social media. But the truth will set you free. I'm telling you, for free. Never do anything at the expense of your dignity, at the expense of your values. There are still young people, the same age as yourself, at 22, at 23, they are making milestone. The other day I was reading an article of a young guy, 22 years old, who has actualized his dreams through AI. He's one of the billionaires being approached by someone like US's President, Donald Trump.
Yes.
Young person.
Right.
Being immoral is not the only way of getting money. Think, young person, think. You have something, you have a gold mine inside of you, that's why you went to school.
Yeah, but I say circumstances pushed me. Even when you look like, when you study, even when you hear stories as well of social workers, let's just say sex workers, they'll give the very sad, pathetic stories of how niliingia tu hii kazi kutafutia watoto wangu chakula, but you're saying it's not morally right, but it's justifying their act. So would you blame them for lacking a moral compass?
It's not just
circumstantial, or there's something missing in them? Yeah,
something missing. It's not just justifiable. Are you the only woman? Are you the only person? Ask yourself that question. The same people of your own age are doing something else, different from what you're doing. So why are you not thinking like them? You are here, working. One day you admire to be here. One day you had nothing. And an option was, let me get an easy thing. But why didn't you go that direction? It is mediocrity in their minds. It is thinking that life is so easy. I'm not saying life is difficult, but you thinking that way already is a problem. You thinking that selling yourself is the only solution you have.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
A job. It's a big job nowadays.
I don't want to say it's a job.
Yeah.
It is something wrong in the society.
No. You know, and people are buying the services. They're paying.
I am saddened. But let me close it this way. We can have a conversation.
Yeah.
If you feel that you have lost direction in that path, I'm gonna give my contact. I'm not the only mentor. Right. I'm not the only coach. There are even people who are ahead of me and we're willing to help you.
Yeah.
We're even willing to train you for free, for you to get something better that can give you a living rather than selling your body.
Yeah, I've heard somebody say, ukinitoa kwa hii kazi, nipe ingine na unipe pesa.
It's okay. It's all right. At the end of the day, actualize yourself. At the end of the day, have respect for yourself. I understand. These are circumstances. There are young people. There's a friend of mine, I'll tell you. She's going through therapy right now. We were together in campus. So one day she saw my video on TikTok and I was speaking about value proposition.
Right.
And then she called me and then she told me, Gamaliel, I know you remember. Of course I remember you. And then she told me, I wish I followed what you used to tell us, because I used to have mentorship sessions even at the university. Yeah. Then she said, can I trust you? I said, yes, you can. Because in coaching, accountability and privacy is the first rule.
You're like a therapist, actually.
I'm not a therapist. No. There are certain things I cannot take. Yeah, I'm not a therapist.
But she opened up?
Yes, she opened up and she told me that she has been on that direction because at some point when she was at school, because she was living a very lavish life,
Right.
She thought that, these things started early. When you are a comrade, there are things that you want to have, which you cannot have.
The peer pressure comrades.
Yes. And these were Babas are parking, Range Rovers, V8s at the gate. And you are always like, this guy has everything. He'll give me everything I want. But it happened. He went that direction. And at the end of the day, she was dumped. And then there is a life that she was used. So she started going to clubs, getting the rich guys who are easy to give money for sex, in exchange for sex. So she ended up getting into it, addicted into it and stuff like that.
And she lost herself at some point.
And she lost herself. Then she said, I am willing. I am willing to pay anything to recover.
And you helped her and she recovered.
Definitely.
She's good.
Yeah, she's doing so well. Actually, she goes to church right nowadays. She's happy. She has a business. And we're still mentoring her.
Yes.
So I know there are so many young people who are regretting already the path that they took about selling themselves. But it's not the end. There is hope. There is, as long as you're still alive, something can still be done. So don't give up and just throw yourself into it. There is still an option. There is still a way. And we can help. There are pastors, there are mentors, there are role models. Yourself like here. I know there is someone who is following you. There are many young people who are looking, one day I want to be like him. One day I want to be like him. Then I'll say, if you're a young person and you are making it, don't succeed alone.
Right.
We rise by lifting others. Get that one person who you think is lost. Rather than talking negatively about them, stretch a hand of helping them. Reach out to them. Tell them, this is not the only way. There is another way which is better. There's another way which will retain your dignity. There's another way that can make you even more successful than this. Because people will keep on treating you as trash and you will die a bitter person.
Yeah, and that is the worst place to begin. This is my second last question before we close it.
Yes.
I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and they were sharing a story of how they had a friend who couldn't survive without being sober because they feel like their reality is harsh. And I was just trying to jump in and say, if you alter your current reality, meaning that you're just postponing this pain for this short amount of time, when you go to bed, you sleep, the day is done. You'll wake up tomorrow, the next following day. The same issue will still be there. So you being high for that day is not killing the problem or chasing it away. So why can't you face it hard on? So what I learned is that a lot of us maybe are trying to, hide ourselves from the pain of the harsh reality of life. Maybe there's something that happened to us in our families that we are unable to solve. Or maybe like you're saying, somebody who took that trajectory, they are stuck in regret, pain and shame. How do they position themselves on the path to recovery and regaining their identity single-handedly?
Yes. I want to submit to you that there are so many people of the same caliber who have found themselves in circumstances which has really pushed them to the wall, and the only option probably they thought is drugs and substance abuse. But at the end of the day, I will say, and I will confidently say, that live one day at a time. The fact that you have those challenges coming your way, it means there is something you can do about them. But many people have overdreamt, over-expected, and they end up living in a gap of only illusions. So like where you want to be and where you are is a big gap.
The math is not mathing.
The math is not mathing. So the only thing that fills that gap is fear. Fear of the unknown. But what I can tell you
Which everybody goes through.
Yes, everybody goes through. So you're not the first person to go through this. So what I'll say is break down where you want to be into actionable steps. Even for business people, this is what I'll say. Because you can get yourself into drugs thinking that you're helping yourself, but you're harming your body at the same time. So I will say, break down your goals into actionable steps. That person is on top of the mountain. One day he was at the bottom of the mountain. But the fact that you want to be on top of the mountain doesn't mean that you have to jump. You can break your leg. And that doesn't mean that when you're going to abuse drugs, it's going to take it away from you. So do this. Actionable steps, breaking it down, so that you can make it so easy for you that you can chew. That's also, you see, a baby who has not yet grown teeth, the mother will make it so soft for them to chew. But when you grow, now you can take that animal and chew that meat. Why? Because you've grown the teeth. But you cannot want to chew that meat if you've not grown the teeth. And that's what pushes people to the wall, to the extent that they give up and submerge or, get into drugs and substance abuse. But there is also mentorship that you also need to go. Get someone to work with you in that journey. There is something someone will tell you or give you that will help you. So don't die alone. Liverpool says never walk alone. So as much as you know you have a problem, there is somebody who has a solution for that problem. There is somebody who said that God uses people to bless people. So you're never
the same
alone.
way the devil.
Yes, the same way the devil uses people to get people.
To get you
but
down.
what am I saying? Get someone who can help you. Open up to someone. Open up your heart to someone. Tell someone I have a problem. Someone will help you. Even me, honestly, I'm here. I'm lifting up my hands. I'm willing to help you.
You're willing to help.
Yes, I'm willing to help. Don't die alone.
You'll give details in a bit. Let me just sample a similar comment to the question of the day. We had asked you, je, ukitaka kuquit job yako, huwa unapeana notice ama huwa unapotea tu? And we had talked about loud quitting and silent quitting. Najita Scam Cardinali, are you the guy from MCA? Anasema still Scam Cardinali, anasema mimi napeana notice juu ujui ni nini itafanika next minute, uanze kutulia hapa Kenya, uanze kulia hapa, and then anasema Kenya hakuna kazi, kumbe wewe uliacha kazi. You know, last one anasema, yes, Andole Junior Josie anasema locked in kama kawaida watching. And then lastly as well, Samson Junior anasema good morning watching from Chuela. Shout out to you as well. Jemom Podley anasema absentee. Thank you so much for your feedback. You can see people are saying, you know, some of them at least are conscious of the reputation you leave behind.
Yes.
But there's people who don't care as well about the reputation. They might have the worst, but they'll still get to the top. I don't know if you've ever heard that statement that says, why is it bad people keep on getting good things and good people keep on, you know, feeling oppressed and getting suppressed and whatnot? What do you think of such feedback?
Number one, I don't agree. Good people always get good things.
Good people always get good things. I
but
think they say bad things always happening to good people. I think that is the statement.
I know, but it is a fact, not the truth. Yes.
Right.
And let me just give a comment about that person who has said, you are saying you don't have a job, but you left job.
You left a job, And then you wanza kulia Kenya hakuna kazi, kumbe uliacha kazi.
Yes. And you discover that many young people, especially the Gen Zs, what they are doing, they're so quick to quit. Even in, like, I'm leaving this job, they insult even the manager and stuff like that.
It's detrimental to their mental well-being.
Definitely.
Maybe because they are being micromanaged, which is something that's common in workspaces.
But you know, you can do it in a respectful way. Yes, you can just walk into the office of the manager or the CEO or the owner of the business and you say, thank you so much for the opportunity you've given me to work here. I was able to get this and this from this company. However, I feel like my services are not needed and I want to prioritize my mental health as well. And I want to wish you well. If you get another person, if you are not sure if someone is going to replace me, I can help you get someone who can replace me. Let me tell you, this world is round. You may need that person in future. And bad people don't remain to be bad people. They can change at some point. The other time I was stopped in town. There's a friend of mine. Actually, we just lost ways. When I was a school captain, he's a guy who used to sneak from school every now and then. So I was a school captain. So one day I caught him red-handed. And I knew he was given the last warning. So definitely he was going to be expelled from school. But I took him to my office and we had a counseling session. And he never stuck. So he really came running. And he said, if you didn't help me, I never imagined where I could be right now. So the world will still catch up with you. Make sure if you have to quit a job, do it respectfully. You don't have to cause commotion. Sometimes even that employer could be bad enough to tell you that I'm not going to pay your salary. Leave their salary. God has better ways to help you. But just make sure you do not leave a bad picture behind. Remember, you needed that job. You applied for it. So never burn the bridge that helped you to cross over.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Word. So give us where the Gen Zs can get to find your coaching services, and if they need to walk on a journey of mentorship, what are the benefits as well? This is your camera in 40 seconds.
In 40 seconds.
Please speak to them.
Yes, but I'll do myself an injustice if I do not tell you what my mentor, Dr. Ruben West, says every time. Whatever you focus on the longest becomes the strongest. Make sure you get something to focus on. I am a consultant. I am a leadership and productivity coach and trainer. And one of the things that we do is to help you know yourself, not only as an individual, but even as a leader, even as an employee, because we believe in you. We believe that you have potential, you have power, you have untapped potential, you have a gold mine